Thanks, Jeanette. That was a kind introduction. My colleague Ted and I are excited to be here today to talk to you about one of the wildlife conservation projects we've been working on for the last couple of years. I'll start off with giving the big picture, the context, the problem we're trying to solve for, and then Ted will guide you through the technology, the solution we've started to build. So, as Sam Wasser explained quite well, illegal wildlife trafficking is a huge problem. It's a $20 billion a year industry. It's devastating some of the world's most iconic species, such as African elephants, lions, tigers, rhinos, but also many lesser-known species like pangolin and hornbill. It's unsustainable, and it's pushing many of these species to the brink of extinction in some locations. It comprises one of the most serious types of illicit trade. It ranks fourth in terms of global illegal trade, and it's run by organized crime syndicates. I think Sam illustrated that quite well. And many of these species literally have a high price on their head, and they're buckling under this pressure. So this graph is a little bit dated, but it's from Traffic, and it illustrates the point well that many of these animals have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of product on their heads, their faces, their bodies, that these criminal syndicates are after. So you can see ivory, rhino horn, shark fin, they all rank high in value with other commodities like gold that we're all familiar with. So the trade chain is quite complicated, and this is the hallmark of transnational organized crime. In many cases, the wildlife products originate in Africa, and so they're sourced in Africa. They flow to middlemen in the Middle East or Southeast Asia, and then end in the final demand centers, destinations of China, Vietnam, Hong Kong. So to move this amount of product across continents, it takes some real a pretty big network, organized crime, serious criminals to do this. This figure from EDIS shows, it's for ivory, and it shows the ivory flows from Africa to Asia. The thicker the line, the more ivory flowing. So these are big volumes of product. So at Vulcan, we care about this problem. Vulcan is a Paul G. Allen company. Most of you probably know of the name Paul Allen from co-founder of Microsoft with Bill Gates. Vulcan is an umbrella company, and it represents a number of Paul's ventures and interests, including the Allen Institute for Brain Science, the NFL team, the Seattle Seahawks, Vulcan Aerospace, Vulcan Technology, where Ted sits, Vulcan Real Estate. I'm in philanthropy. Vulcan Philanthropy, and we focus on tackling some of the world's biggest problems primarily in climate change, ocean health, and then wildlife conservation. About 3 years ago, we started getting really serious about wildlife conservation. I was hired and joined Vulcan about 3 years ago, right when the company was getting serious. And our first signature big project entree into wildlife conservation space was the Great Elephant Census. Some of you may be familiar with this. It was an ambitious 2-year project to count the remaining savanna elephants across 18 countries in Africa. So this was done with a program of aerial surveys, traditional aerial survey counting, across a huge area, across 18 countries. The headline results that came out this fall showed that there's just about 350,000 African savanna elephants left, and that represents about a 30% decline since 2007. So this is huge. So as the results were coming in for the Great Elephant Census, we asked ourselves at Vulcan, are we going to just count elephants, or are we going to try to save them? And so Ted and I were given the assignment to scope out opportunities to help save them. We connected with a lot of partners in the field, and I'm just going to show this short video of one of our partners on the domain awareness system. And these guys are the real crime solvers. These guys are the ones on the front line, and we're here to support them. And so I think it's appropriate to give them a moment of our time so we can see what they do and what kind of context they're in.
Malembe, malembe.
Okay, so those are our partners from WCS and Nobali and Doki in the Republic of Congo. And so, let's see. When Ted and I were first put on the assignment to scope opportunities across Africa, we started going to some of the hot spots that were being revealed from the Great Elephant Census, the red areas where there's a lot of decline in savanna elephant populations, and we didn't want to forget their forest cousins, so we also visited places like Nobali and Doki and got them on board. And basically in this scoping mission, we wanted to find out, what kind of technology could help them do their jobs better, more safely, more efficiently. And we know that Vulcan has a strong technology department. It's got some tech muscle there, and we wanted to develop the appropriate decision support tool for them. And so that's where we started imagining with the partners the domain awareness system. And so I'm going to hand it over to Ted, and he's going to walk you through those details.